The bridge. You joined me, David Keenan, local social commentator or whatever, you know, local local blah, that's what I am. I'm thinking of doing, right, what I'm going to do is, right, we're just a stone's throw from King George V, where all those years ago, I was the king, yeah, and I'd just like to say, yeah, I single-handedly won the game. And I single-handedly won the game again and again and again. But see, I didn't really single-handedly win it. Like, folk did help me, but back then it was kind of, it felt like it was, well, on the surface, on the human level, on the human people level, I won it single-handedly. But you know, I didn't. What can I say today? What can I say today? Ken how I'm fucking divinely protected. Ken, my angel Gabriel and the other Ian, they're round me, protecting me, so I can do whatever I want. In a good way, right? Ken how Mike Fusco's a fucking creep. Ken the guy who used to own Border Cards is a fucking creep. Ken how Booty at the Castle. Is he still a creep? When are we going to start changing this paradigm, right, in this society, where the people that are in positions of inadvertent commas power abuse their power? When is this going to stop? When are folk at the bottom of the pyramid going to start fucking doing something about it? I'm guilty of this as well. I'm guilty. I've no, but that's got to change, how folk, because it just increases their sense of feeling like they can do anything. It's good to know I'm not a creep on this day. I'm calling out the creeps, a bit like David Icke when he outed Savile decades before it came out, and then he was proven to be right. And he said he outed Ted Heath as well, and all these other folk. And he said what he wanted to say, and he knew it was true, because folk contacted him because they didn't have the balls to, they didn't have the power in inverted commas as well, but he had the power because he had the didn't give a fuck attitude, and the kind of soapbox, if you like, that was afforded to him through when he was on the BBC and all that, and so he used that, didn't he? So he became a magnet for folk that came to him with stuff, and that's how we could say it, with no fear of the consequences, because he's outed Ted paedophile as a child-killing, like, paedophile, right? And nobody could do anything about it. He said, I'm still waiting, he even said it publicly, it's fucking hilarious, he said it publicly, I'm still waiting on Ted Heath to come and sue me. He can't sue me, you know why? Because it's fucking true. So that's what I mean. So I've just outed two kind of creeps, former creeps. I wonder if they're rehabilitated yet. See, one of these particular people thinks they're like a mafia boss wannabe, and I could give a story about that, but I don't have the inclination to do that. But you know what I mean, I just kind of, it's like folk are always on about animal rights, aren't they? Animal rights, like the people rail against, you know, the poor conditions that animals are bred and what's the word and kept to produce the food. Well, it's kind of like that in the kitchen, isn't it? It's kind of like they're just folk are just kind of, what's really funny is that it's not only the females that get abused, it's the males as well. We're all victims of it. It's like I'll just touch you on the crotch and think that's appropriate and make fun out of it because you think I can do nothing about it. It's like that death song, innit? Take away the power, in inverted commas, in a shallow person you will find, you know. It's just kind of funny how you see these businesses and things like that, they become successful on the back of abusing people or putting people down. I mean, I know the value of hard work. like that, and I believe that you should be worked hard and everything. You shouldn't earn your money by lazing about. But some of these fucking people take the piss, and it's about time folks start. If you notice in the COVID thing, this is go back to the COVID thing. You notice in the news they were saying tons of folk were fucking going on strike effectively and getting out and saying no longer am I going to put up with this fucking abuse and horse shit, getting fucking, whether it's getting paid a low wage for doing something, not people being paid to do jobs that they know they're better than, and they're not getting paid for a wage commensurate with their value, you know, things like that. But anyway, that's quite funny, innit? I just outed 2 creeps. And as I say, I'm divinely protected because my ex that I'm still in contact with, right, she's kind of earth angel as well. So she'd jump in and stand up for me. I didn't fear nobody. So it's just funny. It's funny. Like, a lot of these people, this isn't coming out of a place of bitterness. This is just coming out of a place of, I'm going to entertain myself this morning and just say what I want. So, but fucking creeps, man. Creeps. A bit of creepiness is alright, because like a bit of creepiness is kind of fun, I suppose, and to some extent whether you think someone's a creep or not is it's open to interpretation. You could go, well, that just depends on my state at the time, psychology, innit? When, you know, everything's kind of funny and everything, but some folk take it too far. That's the point. Folk take it too far. I don't think it's really appropriate to kind of be these fucking mafia wannabes. It's like, dude, look at you, you're fucking over middle age and you're fucking bald and fat. Just because you've got money doesn't mean that you can touch the arse of my girlfriend, you know. And then I'm supposed to just sit, like, I was told about it afterwards. We're in Chancellors basically. How many times does that happen now? If you go down to Chancellors, how many fucking creeps are there just touching folk in the backside? I hope some of this Harvey Weinstein thing and everything has woken up a few folk as to the consequences of doing that kind of thing. Folk should be very. The problem is, right? Folk haven't a bit like Carl Jung, Jordan Peterson did it, looking at their own darkness, looking at their own soul, actually facing it. So they haven't done that. They haven't done that inner work. So then it comes out when they're drunk, doesn't it? And they comes out and they touch folk up. But that's a bit kind of, you need to do more work on yourself. Maybe do an Andrew Tate, go to the gym, whatever, you know. Discover that you're a creep and work on it, and then you wouldn't feel the need to be a creep. Maybe that actually then you'd notice, oh, there's this kind of magnanimous kind of nice person that comes out, and then you wouldn't feel the need to fucking touch folk up on nights out, you know. So when I was hanging about with Alex, right, and we were having a conversation about this in the light of the Russell Brand thing, and I don't know what I think about that Russell Brand thing. You've got to reserve judgment and everything, really. But we were both basically saying, Alex was saying, we're talking about creeps, like, you know, creeps everywhere, calling out the creeps, you know. It was like, where is the next kind of like, yeah, you go to the other extreme and you go, well, there's fucking creeps everywhere. You don't want to be that like that, just assume everybody's a fucking creep. But we were having a wee discussion, we were basically saying, you know, should you be calling out the creeps when it happens? I think there should be more of that happening. But again, then there's false accusations and false, but it is true, I do agree with what that comedian said on one level. There was a bit of virtue signal in it, but I know what he was saying. He was saying good men, evil continues when good men do nothing. If you just like see somebody like harassing some woman or whatever and you do nothing about it, I mean, you can't rely on the police for everything. So it's good to know I'm not a creep though, that's good. But again, it's kind of like, you know, if you're an accessory to a crime, does that make you a creep as well? You can't fucking change the world, but I objected to that when I was like touched on the crotch. It was like, what he said was, he goes, it's humiliating, it's embarrassing. He did it in front of people, and he was just like, woo, and did it, thought it was funny, and touched me on my fucking testicles. What kind of a fucking creep are you, you fucking degenerate? Well done, the place is successful. I guess it's sort of like, it's like the Matrix, isn't it? Or what was that other film where they suck in the energy of the energy sucking vampires, like the battery, you know? It's kind of like that, reptilian archons. Derek called them archons. He was like, because he was in the midst of reading a David Icke book, and he talked about like the archons, or like extra dimensional, other dimensional entities that just drain on the life force of folk, you know. And it's kind of funny because it's like there's an element of truth in it. It's like this reptilian fucking negative force, you know, archons, fucking psychos or whatever, you know. Just think they can get away with that kind of thing, and that will do nothing because they use they are mafia wannabes. It's and I wonder if the local police force would just protect them. It's kind of Freemasonry, and it's small time bullshit, just like those scenes that you've seen in those films, you know. It's that kind of shit in it. But touching me in the crotch. I remember at the time I was in a position of kind of a little bit vulnerable there, you know, as a younger, I wasn't that young, but young, and I'm going, I sort of laughed it off, but I'm going, did that really fucking happen? Did he really fucking do that? He goes, I basically said to him, sexual harassment. I remember standing up for myself. I did say that, but it was done in a kind of, I should have been absolutely. It didn't happen again. There you go, at least there you go. I'm glad I talked about this, because I did actually do something about it. It stopped, he didn't do it again, and I think he knew not to fuck with me. And part of me was like, well, I suppose it's like sort of being initiated into a fucking club, innit? It's like, well, we're all a family, so I'm touching the balls, oh, it's funny, so we're all a team. I get it. I was good enough to be touched in the balls, if you like, you know. There you go. I do actually know what's going on. There is an element of that. It's like bonding, and some of these fucking freaks, that's their only way to bond. It's like their kind of playground humour. It's like, that might be funny to you, but it's no funny to me, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, creeps.